What's up YouTube, Demi here with the Abyss content integration to the core game manifesto thing, so we're going to go over that together and get my opinions on it as well as just help read it with you guys basically. So Abyss was introduced on December 4th, it was released alongside an expansion or if the Atlas only affected the endgame. This made the League the only new content players would see until they got up to maps. The majority of the player base never really gets to maps, so it's very important that they make the League work for players like that. A lot of effort went into making Abyss protect the best elements of old leagues, as well as developing new technology for its signature element, the Abyss cracks. Chase the cracks, find the butthole, right? They made new monsters, new rewards, Stygian vises, jewels, etc. Pros and cons of keeping the content. Abysses were popular and fun to run, and importantly integrated well with level generation in a way other leagues haven't. This makes it good content to keep and possible to use in main storyline content without feeling too out of place. But the jewels and the new belt make it difficult to keep. The belt becomes the best belt choice, and the jewel you get to wear outstrips other implicits on belts. It's fine to have a league where builds are different and interesting, push it in a certain direction, but it makes it hard to keep the content permanently. If we kept the monsters in the ground stuff without the rewards, we don't think that would be a popular choice. Nerfing the rewards heavily and keeping the content would let us keep the content, but it would mar it as far as players were concerned. So it's like this weird give and take here. They need to decide which one they keep, which one they don't, how they do this, right? The jewels are fine in the context of the passive tree. It was the Stygian Vise belt which causes the biggest problems. Do we keep the league except for the belt? And we decided we didn't want to do that, so we're going to keep the league and reserve the belt only for later in the game. At high levels, the belt base also competes with Elder and Shaper belts on other bases. Currently, in League, there's no reason to use any belt that's not a Stygian Vise, so yeah, that's a problem. So they worked it out. We decided to add the content from Part 2, which is the start of Act 6 onwards, right? It's fairly intrusive, so we kept it out of Part 1, and it extends into maps. There's no depth until you get maps. Currently, you can get them around level 40, so they moved it back really far so you don't get a bunch of crazy stuff while you're trying to level up, right? And then Abysses will occur 10% of the time in instances, which is the same as breaches. So you have a pretty good chance of finding one or the other. Well, that's great. I don't personally enjoy doing Abysses because they always go backwards as you're clearing, which is annoying, but I guess that's fine. They increase the odds of liches. I don't know if they fixed the bug with them not spawning yet, but we'll see. And the Abyssal Depths and Troves will also be able to drop maps, so it's never really penalizing you to play it, which is good. Rewards. Abyss Jewels and Stygian Vises make up much of the reward of the League. Abysses will still have good general drops from the Troves, and the Depths will continue to be rewarding. However, we will reduce the shower of jewels from each Abyss. An Abyss will have a magic jewel and some chance of a rare jewel, so you're most likely only going to get one jewel most of the time, instead of like 5 every time you kill anything Abyss related. Belts will now only come from Depths and Liches. There will always be a Stygian Vise drop from a Stygian Spire or a Lich, so you have to actually complete the Depths to get a Vise, instead of them just showering all the time as well, which I think is really good, because currently they're just way too common. Like, it's very easy to get bases, very easy to roll them into well enough bases to use and sell. I'm glad that they're like reducing that, and maybe giving us the potential of using it a different belt type at some point. That'd be cool. As these bases are only available from side content, there's now no chance of a Stygian Vise being Elder or Shaper item. While this combination does occur in the League, this will not be the case once the content is in the core game. So this means that there's not going to be Shaped and Elder Stygian Vises in League anymore from here onward, right? They are still currently there. They will stay as they are if you have them. Lucky for me, I bought some a couple weeks ago, right? Or a month or two ago now, actually. But that allows there to be effective competitors for the belt slot in top tier play. So that means that like a Shaped Crystal Belt is most likely going to be the best option for ES characters in leagues instead of a Shaped Stygian Vise, which is really, really good for crafting. It's good for diversity in builds. Not everybody wants a Stygian slot in their belt slot now. In leagues forward. In standard, it's kind of ruined. It's going to be a Stygian Vise from now on, which is, I guess, annoying, but whatever. While Abyss Jewels and Stygian Vises will be much less common than they were in the League, we still expect that Abyss content being the only way to get these value items will make the content worth doing. Yep. Abyss Uniques. The Uniques succeeded in being valuable items. They're very close on the line to being too powerful, but they did make interesting builds, and we feel like they make a fine addition to the game. We flattened the odds of the two Liches so that it's equal between the two, and the unique chances to make the rarest items similar in availability to how they are during Abyss League. Cool. We increased the odds of a unique having a second Abyssal socket, again to keep these available. Since they're reducing the overall rate of the drops, they're making it much more easier to get 2 socket ones. They prevented Shroud of the Lightless from having a second abyssal socket, right? As it was the one unique that became less valuable when it had a second socket. Because it's basically if you 5-link one socket it, you have a 5-link with a pseudo 6-link already into the item, which is the level 20 elemental penetration gem, or link, I guess. If it had a 2-socket, you can only have a 4-link main skill, which is kind of bad. So they forced it to always have one, which I think is really good. Looking at lead specifics, Bubonic Trail is also strong. We've decided it didn't need any changes. Light Poacher, on the other hand, dances well into the territory of broken mechanics. We decided a mid-league nerf wasn't justified for an item with limited availability. They were a chaos, and there were thousands of them on PoE Trade. That's not very fucking limited. However, for the permanent leagues, we'll be making some changes. Light Poacher projectiles now travel a limited distance. Increasing or reducing projectile speed will adjust this distance. Cool. Currently, I think they just travel forever till they hit something or something like that. They travel really long ways. Light Poacher projectiles no longer always pierce. This does, however, allow players to invest in alternatives such as Chain or Fork instead. That's actually really good because like them able to pierce through an entire pack is just weird. And now you can actually make them Chain Fork, which is cool. Summary, we put a lot of effort into it, we're happy it paid off. It turned into one of the best leagues we have done. I actually really disliked this league, but okay. That's fair, alright. I'm sure, I mean, number-wise it did great, but actual league for like long-term league players, this is like a... Content monsters are a fun addition. Items brought up by Abyss have opened up new build possibilities and increased the depth of player choice. I do like that, yeah. We knew it was content worth keeping. We are glad we found what we believe is a good compromise between the power too good to keep and too good not to keep. Stygian Vise belt. We feel we'll have found a good compromise for the Stygian Vise belt that will not take over the belt slot choices as much as it did during the league. I don't know about that, because, I mean, you're still going to probably want one on most builds. Unless you're going for an Elder-shaped other version, but we'll see. But yeah, my thoughts, it's odd that they're going Legacy, Shaper, and Elder Stygian Vises, since you're not going to be able to get them from here onwards, so basically buy them now or never. I'm not sure how I feel about Abysses being core. I don't personally enjoy running them, but that's my opinion, so obviously it's not the majority opinion, so that's cool. We'll deal with it. I'll farm them or avoid them, we'll see. I do like the fact that they pushed it back instead of like all the time. Only Act 6 onward and only finding depths in maps is really, really nice. And hopefully the lich bugs are actually fixed. You can, you know, actually find liches. But yeah, overall, I think this is fine. It's going to be interesting to see Stygian Vises and Jewels onwards from now on, because I thought that the Jewels were kind of broken for any skill that scales really well with flat added damage, such as like Doomfletch, Wander, some types of casters, barrage characters, like stuff like that. I don't know, it felt weird to see them, but I'm also glad that they are still being in game, because the Jewels allow for a lot of interesting type of builds to exist. Like flat physical dispels is not available anywhere else in the game, or like attacks if you crit recently, stuff like that, or LE damage, extra fire damage if you crit recently, like weird little mods, hinder on spells, just like maim on hit. There's some interesting items out of it, and they do increase build diversity, so I think that's good overall. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, I guess. I'll link this post in the description as well, so you can read it yourself, make your own opinions on it. But overall, I think I'm pretty happy with it. I'm also obviously extremely happy that I invested into the Shaper and Elder Stygian Vises, so you'll be seeing crafting videos on that stuff upcoming in the future. I don't even know what Bubonic Trail does, I'll be honest. But I guess you could collect, I should talk about investment opportunities. Item level 84 jewels are going to be really hard to get, Abyss jewels specifically. I would still advise picking those up. Item level 86 Stygian Vises will be even harder to get, so if you can pick those up now, that's great. The Abyss uniques, obviously they're going to be going core, so it's kind of up to you. If you want to collect a 2-socket Shroud of the Lightless for the fun of it, like they're not going to be worth anything because they're worse. If you just want to have one to get one, sure. It doesn't say anything about Light Poacher going Legacy, so I don't think it's going to go Legacy. I don't think they can do that since they're just editing the skill for the most part that it gives, not the actual item. So that's not really worth it. But yeah, I picked up a bunch of the low tier uniques, which is kind of a waste of currency, so since they're going to be dropping in the core game anyway. But I guess my main investments will be higher level bases to craft, and of course the Elder and Shaper Stygian Vises. But yeah, let me know what you guys have in store. I can actually show you what I have real quick, or what I grabbed. So I picked up a lot of ID4 jewels, some Elder bases. These are ID3s and this is ID5. I have a shaped unset. Bunch of light poachers. These are Volmon hit Tombfist just cause. I picked up a ton of these. These are probably not going to be worth anything anymore, but hopefully I can sell them for more than the chaos I paid for them, right? And then of course I-86 Stygian Vises. This is for Spider Queen. I'm actually going to put this in her belt. This had good suffixes that I wanted. And these are all shaped I-81s, and these are Elder I-81 pluses. So yeah, I'll be crafting these over time. You'll see a lot of videos when we're trying to make #1 belts in these slots since they can't be gotten anymore. Other than that, I don't think I really picked up anything. Some un-ID'd 6 sockets from people that have been giving them to me. Thank you guys so much for that. I do collect these. I don't pay for them because they're not worth anything. I'll give you the 7 jewelers if you want, but I have a fair amount of the more common ones now, so I'm mostly looking for the more rare weapons and armors at this point. Yeah, I guess that'll do it here. As I said, leave a comment if you have any thoughts on this. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Follow me on Twitch if you want to see me talk about this sort of stuff or invest into stuff live. And I will see you guys in the next video. That'll be Demi out.